Hello, I am Vivian McGrath from vivianmcgrath.com, and today I wanted to talk about this amazing book that I just read, and it's got a really powerful meaning to it that I want to share with you about how you can manifest greatness from nothing. You know, you can go from rock bottom to greatness just by manifesting it with your attitude, with the way you stop sabotaging yourself, and how so many successful women I see unwittingly, subconsciously sabotage their chance of stepping into greatness. It's about a couple who were middle-aged, they're in their 50s, and they had spent decades building up this beautiful farmhouse that became their children's childhood, but they also turned it into like an Airbnb farmhouse. So it also became an income that was going to provide their future. And long story short, they ended up losing everything. They lose everything and they have to walk away from this farm that's been their entire life. And what they're left with is nothing. They're literally homeless, and I think they've got access to, if they're lucky, around 48 pounds a week, which is, I don't know what that is, it's probably about $100 US. And most weeks they don't even have that. So, and then worse, on top of that, they then discover that the husband has a terminal illness. He's going to die. Pretty bleak. But there's a lot of hope and a really, really powerful message that I want to share. Instead of, they thought, okay, instead of just giving up, they thought, right, we're just going to surrender. And how can we make the best of this horrendous situation? And challenge. And I always say to people, you know, what is the gift this challenge can give me? So they, instead of being homeless on the streets, which they could have been while they were waiting for a council flat to be given to them, they decided instead to walk the, it's called the Salt Path, 600 miles of the British coastline. And they literally, he's got a terminal disease, so he can't carry very much. They literally have very, very little, only what they can carry in very small packs. And it's agony as they walk. And the tent is pretty flimsy, so they're quite cold at night. So it's very, very challenging. And it's illegal, by the way, to camp in England. So they have to sneak and camp wherever they can at night without being found. But the beautiful part about this story is the more they surrendered to the universe, because there was nothing else they could do but to let go, and the more they walked, they got stronger. They realized that their self-worth wasn't connected to their beautiful house. It wasn't connected to money. It wasn't connected to their possessions. Their self-worth came from within. And the more they felt strong within, the more they, and physically stronger as they walked, the more they started to manifest these little miracles and this incredibly hopeful, bright future. I won't give away the ending because it is really quite powerful. And the reason I wanted to tell this story is because so many women who are successful come to me and they say exactly what I have been guilty of myself. I'm not earning enough. I should be further along in my career. I'm not successful enough. How many of you have said that? I'm sure many of you. And so many of us feel that we're not where we should be. That word should, that our lives should look different based on a set of rules that we're not even aware we've set ourselves. And like me, these women that come to me have had great successes in their life that they don't see. They're successful in their career, they're earning good money, they've got well-educated kids, but they judge themselves so harshly. And they also feel lost or confused about who they are and what it is they desire, because, well, way too often they're really high achievers who feel empty and exhausted, and they've bottomed out, and they don't feel that anything they've ever achieved is where they should be, or good enough, or successful enough. Does anyone know that feeling? And much like I did, they then think the problem is with them, that there's something wrong with them. And, you know, I've been guilty of this, but if you base your life on unwritten rules that you have to live up to in order to feel valued and self-worth, such as I'm worthy when I make X amount of dollars, my worth depends on my job title, I will be successful when I achieve X, Y, and Z. But then when you achieve X, Y, and Z, you want to achieve A, B, and C. It's never going to end, you know. Or I'll be happy when my partner changes and realizes what he's done and that I loved him all along and he's not been that good to me and finally validates me. Does that sound familiar to you? But guess what? You know, if that is what your worth depends on, external factors, you're never going to live up to those really high and hard expectations. If you don't know what the rules are, because these rules that you're setting yourself are subconscious, and if you don't know what they are, how can you know what the end game is? And how do you know the end game if the goalposts constantly shift? What you're saying is, I'll feel happy when, I'll feel worthy when this happens or that happens, I'll feel lovable when. And can you see what I'm saying? I will feel enough when ... something externally outside of myself happens. And you go through life, in other words, believing, I'll believe it when I see it, when I receive it, when I see it, and only after those conditions. What if it's possible that this is why you're feeling lost, unfulfilled, never reaching your full potential, lacking purpose and unaligned? Because what if these rules that govern you are self-imposed and are exactly what is holding you back from manifesting love and success that seem out of reach to you right now? Does that make sense? Because what if that couple who'd lost everything had said, well, now we're worthless because we lost our house, because we have no income, because I'm dying of this disease? You know, what if that means I'm now worthless? You might as well give up, right? What's the point? And I know I'm like this really hard judge of myself. You know, I have this gavel that I often beat myself over the head. Hands up who has that gavel and knows what I'm talking about. You know, that Jamie says we put undue pressure on ourselves. We absolutely do. And she says, you're so on point. Thank you, Jamie. We really do, because we have these unwritten rules. I should be better than I am. I should be further along than where I am. I should be more successful than I am. Who invented this word should? Where did that come from? Guess what? It's an unwritten rule that you've set yourself. And then what happens with that is it leaves you lacking. It leaves you unfulfilled. It leaves you unhappy because it's never going to be enough. And if you're waiting to feel enough based on, I'll believe I'm enough when I earn this much, when I am loved by the perfect fantasy person, when that person changes and finally, after 10 years of waiting for them to stop being emotionally unavailable to me, suddenly changes, like that's ever going to happen. You know, can you see what I'm saying? We're setting these unwritten rules, and the rules are there, but then it's never enough. So then we keep moving the goalposts. And then there's no end game because we don't know where the end game is because we keep shifting the goalposts. And even the successful women that come to me who are earning good money, who have educated their kids, who live in a nice house, who are doing pretty well in life, are still so unhappy inside. So if you're living your life based on these sort of unwritten rules that mean your self-worth is tied to external factors that you have no control of, then that's not going to lead to happiness. And as I said, that couple, when they finally surrendered and disconnected who they were and how they felt about themselves based on how other people perceived homeless people, how much money or not they had, how many possessions or not they had. Once they disconnected entirely from that, because they had no choice but to surrender and say, you know what we have is enough. And they then started to live a rich life, manifest abundance. You see, there's so many ways that even when we're successful, we can sabotage our own chances of happiness and fulfillment and acceptance of ourselves. So if you are ready to take back your power and stop setting these rules that are putting a limit over you, and you're hitting that ceiling that you have imposed on yourself, then and become rock solid in self-belief no matter what happens externally and manifest happiness, then I'd love to invite you to do two things. One is, you can, if you're not watching this in my Facebook group, then I'd love to invite you to join my Facebook group. Let me just get it on screen if I can. My Facebook group is Love You and Choose the Life That You Want. And I only want you to join that if you are ready to just say, I'm going to let go of these rules. I'm going to let go of beating myself up, because this is a Facebook group that is really positive. It's about moving forward to manifesting an awesome future. It's not a group for anyone who just wants to bitch about an ex, moan about their bad luck in life and stay in a victim state. There's many other groups like that for you. This is for those women who are doing pretty well already, but just getting in their own way and don't know how to go the last step to really up level and manifest success in their lives. So that's the Facebook group, Love You and Choose the Life You Want. And the other thing I'd invite you to do is grab my free ebook, which is about how to recover from toxic relationships, move forward and fall back in love with your life so that you never settle for less than you deserve and you're happy within, with or without a partner, no matter what happens in your life, so that you can go on to manifest greatness. So grab a copy of that free ebook, vivianmcgrath.com/ebook. I'll also put the links to my Facebook group and that ebook in the description below. So I'll see you in there, or I'll see you in my next video. Thank you for joining me. Thank you for your comments, Jamie, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye for now.